We haven't heard from Nick Swardson.
Yes.
Yeah,
Nick.
what about Nick?
Nick, what do you got? How are you enjoying the tour?
My favorite, going back to that text thread, and it was the last show at Mohegan Sun, and we were exhausted, and so we all slept in. And I woke up at 11 a.m., and Norm had texted everybody at 8 a.m. He goes to, yeah, it was. And you go, hey, anybody want to get breakfast? And we were all asleep. We were tired. And we all woke up at like 11, and then I text everybody. I'm like, hey, does anybody want to get breakfast? People were like, yeah, let's go eat. And then Norm got mad at me for like 2 days. He was like, I had the idea for breakfast. He goes, you took my idea for breakfast. I thought of that 6 a.m. I thought of that first.
That's my idea.
Breakfast
is from my act.
These showbiz folks get up. These showbiz folks get up late.
Yeah, all right.
I get up early. I get up so early, I wake up the rooster.
Okay.
I'll tell you, I have so many Norm stories, but this is one of my favorites. And I was on tour, me, Sandler, Spade, Rob Schneider, and Norm was kind of like the wild card. He would pop in for certain dates. So I believe Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, and we're backstage. Everyone's in Sandler's green room talking, shooting the shit. And me and Norm are in the hallway hanging out. And I don't know why I did this. This long hallway, and this guy walks in. Way down the hallway, walks in the door. And I'm like looking, and we're always kind of suspicious about people that come backstage. And I go, I think that guy's a gun. And Norm goes, what? And I go, I think that guy's a fucking gun, dude. And he's like, oh my God. And he runs into Sandler's room and he goes, there's a gun. There's a man with a gun. And I was like, no, there's not. I was, no, I'm joking. There's not. And he goes, no, next to there's a guy with a gun. And Sandler goes, what the fuck? There's a guy with a fucking gun? And Spade's like, oh no, what the fuck? What's good? And I'm like, no, there's no gun. There's no gun. I was making like a joke just for Norm. And Norm's like, what? How's that a joke? And I'm like, I don't know. And Sandler was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Spade's like, yeah, real cool, man. And I'm like, I'm just gonna go to my room. And Norm's like, yeah, I thought there was a gun. I'm sorry, Nick said it. I'm like, good Lord.
Real buzzkill.
And the guy walked past, it was a security guard. But yeah.
So he really did have a gun.
He didn't have a gun, but he just looked like somebody that would have a gun.
Do you remember the time you called me up one day? You go, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm watching baseball. And you're like, can you pick me up? And I was like,
I don't drive.
I go, I'm already at the bar. I already had a couple of drinks. I want to drink and drive. I'm like, it's not far from you. I'm like, you want to just take a cab? And you're like, yeah, all right, I'll meet you in a couple minutes. So I'm like, okay. So I wait. I watch a full game. I watch another full game. I watch half of another game. It's 8 o'clock at night. And I'm like fucking hammered. I leave the bar. Norm's walking into the bar. It was noon when he called me. It was 8:30 at night.
And
he goes,
I know.
Where are you going? And I'm like, I'm fucking hammered. I'm going home. He's like, I just got here. And I'm like, I know. You're 8 hours late. Like, well, have a fucking beer. Right? Being weird. I'm like, I'm not. I want to go. I can't walk or see.
It takes me a long time to get stuff.
We hate the most.
Remember the last time that you had seen him?
I hadn't seen him for a while, but the last time I saw him was at a bar by our place, and he would watch. He was a big gambler, but the last time I talked to him, when I was quarantined in Minnesota, he would I'd text him and I go, "Hey, what's up, dude?" And he goes, "What? Who's this?" And he would do this all the time. I go, "It's fucking Nick, dude." And he goes, Nicky, what are you doing? And I'm like, nothing, I'm quarantined. And he goes, you didn't stand up? And I'm like, no, the fuck? No one's doing stand up. And he goes, what's your plan? And I go, I don't know, I'm going to kick it here, and then I think I'm going to go to Key West. And I go, I might just retire, though, and just move to Reno and just get like a residency, and then I'll just live in Reno and just work there, just be like an old comic.
Yeah.
And he goes, swear to God, he goes, that's a good idea. And I go, yeah, I don't know, whatever. He goes, nah, maybe I'll join you. We'll both headline Reno. And I go, dude, Reno's fucking a mess. I go, no, I don't want to do that. So I go to Key West. A month later, he calls me. He goes, hey, what are you doing? And I go, I don't know. I'm in Key West. What's up with you? And he goes, when are you going to Reno? And I go, dude, that was a joke. I'm not moving to fucking Reno and retiring as like a comic. And he goes, fuck. I thought it was a good idea. And I'm like, no. And so that's the last time I talked to him. And then his his closest friend, Lori Joe, I hit her up after Norman passed, and I was like, hey, are you doing okay? And she goes, one of the last things before Norm died, one of the last things he talked about was moving to Reno with you.
No.
Yeah, and I go, are you serious? She goes, yeah, he was like, he really wanted to do that. And I was like, oh, and then that made me cry again. And yeah, it was just, that was Norm. It was just really, it was awful.
Damn.